as we enter Wisteria Lane, the second home on your left, the mustard-colored home, this is where Gabrielle, played by Eva Longoria Parker, lives. That home also seen in the Jimmy Stewart movie Harvey many years ago. Next door to Gabrielle, the old Munsters home, 1313 Mockingbird Lane. This is now where Bob and Lee live, played by Tuck Watkins and Kevin Rahm. Susan, portrayed by Terry Hatcher, resides in the yellow home on your left side. And her neighbor next door in the green home is Lynette, played by Emmy Award winner Felicity Huffman. There's a light blue home coming up on your right. This is where Mrs. McCluskey lives, played by Emmy winner Catherine Houston. Edie, of course, was played by Nicolette Sheridan. Edie's home coming up on the right as we turn. The pink home, Edie's home, which is also a practical set.
Next morning, Edie Britt decided to announce her return to Wisteria Lane.
Okay, you're not going to believe this, but she's back.
Edie, is that really you?
You know someone else my age with a body like this?
And continuing our tour of homes, coming up on your left next to Mrs. McCluskey, a brown A-frame. This is where Catherine Mayfair lives, played by two-time Emmy winner Dana Delaney. Catherine is in business with Bree, who lives right next door in the blue-gray home. Bree, of course, played by Marcia Cross. And the green home next to Bree is where the newest resident here on Wisteria Lane resides, Angie, played by Emmy winner Drea Di Matteo. Now, Angie's home used to be yellow. That's where Mary Alice lived. Mary Alice, played by Brenda Strong, who narrates the show. That home doubled as the Cleaver residence in the film version of Leave It to Beaver. The last home on the right was the front of the sorority house seen in our hit movie, Animal House. So you saw the homes on Wisteria Lane designed to fit the look of an average suburban neighborhood. But sometimes the script will call for a more magical look for the sets, like in our hit movie, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
You're as cuddly as a cactus, and as charming as an eel.
And have your camera handy. We're going to show you some of the great outdoor sets used in the film. You'll start to see the Who homes coming up on your left side. And we are going to pull in and get very close so you can get a good photograph. But just so you're aware, this area we're entering is being used by the Halloween Horror Nights events. One of them takes place tonight. So it looks a little different than it normally does. Welcome to Whoville. The automobiles are golf carts that we transformed into the cars used by the Who's. The houses are facades, the front and sides of the homes, but there's really nothing inside of them or on the back. And as we turn the corner to the Bates Motel, be ready to scream and be ready to yell. Coming up on the right, two of the most famous sets still standing in all of Hollywood. The Bates Motel, up on the hill, Norman Bates' house, from Alfred Hitchcock's classic thriller, Psycho. Oh, did you see that by Cabin 1? That was kind of strange.
We all go on a map sometimes.
Anyway, we're going to stop here, make sure you get some great photos of Norman's house up on the hill, and of course, okay, do you see that? I think that is Norman Bates. This is creepy. I have a bad feeling about this. Perhaps we shouldn't be taking photos. Maybe our driver Terry can slowly pull up the hill, get us out of here before Norman has a chance to see us. Whoops, too late. Hi Norman, how's it going? Oh, here he comes. Bye Norman, say hi to Mother. Oh, the fourth car! Look out! That was a close one. Instead of bothering us, I think Norman should clean up his backyard. Look up ahead on your left. We're going to show you the airplane crash site set from Steven Spielberg's blockbuster movie, War of the Worlds. In a moment, we'll be around the corner, away from Norman. When we stop, you may stand up, move around, and get the best possible pictures. This area also being used for the Halloween Horror Nights event. On your left, an actual Boeing 747 aircraft that was not going to be used anymore. I'm going to bring up on your screens the art director of the movie, Rick Carter, and Mr. Spielberg. They are going to tell you how they got the idea for this set. Remember, when we stop, you may stand up, move around, and get some amazing pictures.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around the vision that Steven had.
And you put together to sit down to talk about the War of the Worlds. I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing great. Keep pressing me. Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Okay. Got them closed?
Okay.
Robbie, get in. Get in.
And I'll now have you please take your seats as we continue moving on. Thank you so much for doing that. The airplane was brought onto the back lot by big trucks, except for the tail section on the left side. The tail section was flown in and placed into position using giant helicopters. As we leave the crash site set, we're going to approach Falls Lake on the right. At Falls Lake, we have a big blue backdrop, one of the largest freestanding backdrops in Hollywood. Below the backdrop, we fill it in with water. That's how we get the lake for Falls Lake. The hit movie National Treasure, Book of Secrets, filmed a couple scenes here. And our hit NBC reality show, Biggest Loser, also has used Falls Lake for filming. As we turn, look on the right, you get a nice view of the backdrop and the cabin. You might recognize the cabin from Mark Wahlberg's movie Shooter. This cabin also seen in our hit movie The Great Outdoors, starring John Candy and Dan Aykroyd. And you know Falls Lake is a very popular spot for filming. Here's some of the other NBC Universal movies that have filmed here. First up, Jaws, The Revenge. Oftentimes when we're filming at Falls Lake and we finish the filming phase production, we move into post-production where we put the movie together. We will use computer-generated imagery or CGI. There's a great example of CGI coming up from the Coen Brothers movie Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, starring Oscar winner George Clooney. The cow is fake, created by computer-generated imagery. We can do almost anything in movies now with those CGI effects. And there's a right around the corner here that, you know, there were a couple other movies of ours I know a lot of you saw. The Mummy.